Good morning. Hopefully you can all hear me. Well, looks like I'm the only one here right now for my new show. Still fairly new. So if you're joining me after the fact, that's all right too. So I pulled the card of the day yesterday. I do that at the end of each video. And then we get together to talk about whether or not the message was meaningful for you in the last 24 hours and what it meant, what it spoke to. Maybe you have a quote or something you'd like to share. I come prepared with some. And I also come prepared with an art project for myself so that I have a little something pretty for you to look at. And don't get as antsy because then I have something to keep my hands busy, which I enjoy. So, without further ado, 3 of Diamonds. So I giggled when this card came out yesterday because if you haven't seen my other shows, today is a little bit of a change from the format previously. It's just kind of a narrowing down of the subject, not a total change. But, well, it's not the first time that I've changed up the format, and I was feeling a bit hesitant to do so, even though it seemed like the best idea. So, I'm Rachel Hoyt, artist, writer, and sociological researcher. And I wanted to use this live show to give you a peek into the other parts of my research and show you more about how it's spiritually motivated instead of just playing cards, and poker is part of it. If you haven't seen that yet, I'll explain later maybe. And well, I have been was showing documents, proof of the information that led me where I am today. That was the point that I was trying to expand to. And, well, it was quickly taking up too much time. I could not dedicate that much time to researching every day and preparing a new vlog to share new insights and new things to read quite as frequently as I wanted to. And I just kind of had to accept that. But I was also doing the card of the day already and thought, you know what, let's just cut this down to card of the day. Immediately as I said that, I thought, oh my goodness, this actually works really well for the other thing that I've been wanting to do to add to my research and wasn't really sure the best way to go about it. And in changing this again, which I didn't want to do, I ended up getting to the thing that I want to do, which is I want to check in with you every day and hear stories, especially from anyone who has found playing cards in the world, who has found potential proof of the meaning in the cards. So, from now on, today's morning show and 5 days a week, 7:07 a.m., I will be here asking if you found any proof out there in the wild that you want me to help you interpret. And then I will get more research for research, more proof, and you will get to see and perhaps believe the same way that I do. So, do you see now why I giggled when this card came out as the card of the day? It's essentially the best sign that I could have drawn that it was a good idea for me to go ahead and change things again. Because even though I wanted it to be about the proof before, it's still about the proof. We're all going to watch and see together and look for the proof. So that card definitely spoke to me. And, even if you're wandering upon this after the fact, there's possibly a reason I believe in these things. Uh, there's a reason why things happen delayed. Um, there's a reason why sometimes I turn the wrong direction on the street, quote unquote, or take a turn I didn't plan on taking. And rather than freak out about it, I've come to realize, you know what? There's probably a reason I accidentally turned this other way. And I can't tell you how many times I've noticed after the fact that there was really bad traffic or something in the direction that I thought I was supposed to go, and I avoided it by turning the way that I thought I shouldn't go. But in learning to just accept that and go with it and realize sometimes the wrong thing is the right thing, I've accumulated more and more proof that it's a pretty darn good method. It works very well for me. Highly recommend it. So I'm going to pause from my painting there for a second to give you some scriptures and Bible verses that I chose to go with the message of the Three of Diamonds. This is the Awesome Tarot Journal, which matches the deck of awesome tarot cards. Every single card is printed in here for you to see as well. And I wrote some poems that this one that is pieced here throughout is actually one giant long poem, and then there's a couple of individual ones also to help you learn even more. So, I think the other, so tired I can't remember where my other one is. And there's also a spot in the back where you could do blank 3-card readings for yourself. Sorry, I don't really need to show off my personal 3-card reading there. And I install a download where you can create the stickers and add them in. But I am currently taking notes on all the different scriptures and quotes and things that kind of match in theme the message of the card, or not necessarily match, but just tell me a different point of view. Because the reason I would do a different point of view isn't just because I believe in remaining open-minded, but also because every card has kind of a flip side meaning, if you will. Say the card that's lucky, or that I call lucky, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get lucky. Um, it, it could be either side. It could be telling you that someone else is about to get lucky. There's I'm using poker to prove the meaning of the cards, and in that case, it's very, very obvious that when one person gets lucky, another person gets unlucky. So the dual meaning of every card becomes a lot more obvious in the poker hand analysis videos that I am doing. And I recommend checking those out if you're curious about what proof there is for the meaning in the cards. I'm trying to create it in a bunch of different ways. That being said, I also, just want to hear a million different ways of saying each way of thinking, which leads to a good little segue side note. I'm good with side notes. I have lots of side notes. Hope you can follow them. Some say there are as many ways to read the cards as there are people who read them. I say that to let you know that if you don't feel the meaning of a particular card, but you might feel someone else's system more than you feel mine. And the reason that I chose this particular cards that I chose in my research where I'm analyzing the poker hands, I'm tracking the appearance of certain cards. Ace, 10, 9 of spades, 10, 9 of hearts. Now, I chose those cards because there's more agreement on what they mean. The definitions that I've heard from various people don't vary as much amongst those cards as they do for other cards. So that's why I chose those ones to track their appearance and see how much they correlate with the action in a poker hand. Now, I think if you watch those, you'll also see that the other definitions that I have given the cards also correlate with what happens in a poker hand. Um, that being said, I chose those definitions. I narrowed down the definition while thinking about how those cards would appear in a poker hand because my purpose was to find proof, to do research, and to utilize this method. Um, yes, I do use these definitions when I play poker. It's up to you if you want to do that, though. I'm still a penny poker player, and it's a choice that I choose. But gamble at your own risk. It's not necessarily. I haven't necessarily figured out everything about how to make that profitable, and these videos are for entertainment purposes. But I do use this while playing poker. I do analyze hands um, from a poker perspective with the definitions that I came up with. I had my other book out here to show you where I came up with these definitions, and I've already lost it again. I'm pretty good at shuffling things around on accident, and yeah, that's frustrating. Anyhow, I wanted to show you in written form, documented form, that I did not change the definition a ton from what it was before. Uh, it spoke of documents would appear and that you wanted to find actual proof, something that you could see and believe the truth from. So I pulled up scriptures and verses about what various traditions believe about how we find uh, proof. What is proof? How do you find the truth, etc. And after that long segue, I forgot to even read you what I wrote about the three of diamonds. The three of diamonds implies you need proof. Perhaps you're conceited and acting aloof. A contract or document could now resolve the issue of evidence you need to solve. So I like to think in poker when I'm using this card, when this card shows up, if it's not completing something for me, if it is not the proof, well, then it is proof in the other way, if you catch my drift. It's proof that you need proof that your hand will win and you don't have it. In life, it generally speaks of, you're wondering about something, you're trying to figure out what you should do. Well, you need to look very closely at whatever documented proof you have and evaluate based on that where to go next. But what do the scriptures say? Well, First Thessalonians 5:21 says, "Test all things, hold fast to what is good." So, sounds like, especially in this case, it would agree that I should test my belief about the fact that I see meaning in the cards. And if it is true, then hold on to it, which is essentially what I am doing. If you don't know, I did grow up Christian, and I still have strong association with those verses personally, but an actual Christian might disagree. I definitely have a very widened worldview, shall we say. I also found this quote from the Kalama Sutta, which says, "Do not go by reports, traditions, or hearsay. When you know for yourselves, then accept it." So, although this one to me is the opposite of documented proof, shall we say, it's literally saying do not go by reports, traditions, or hearsay, all the different forms of proof. When you know for yourselves, So, if this is your tradition, correct me if I'm wrong, but to me, this sounds like it's saying use intuition first and foremost over any proof. Proof can be fabricated as well. So, then we have the Upanishads telling us that, now this is a paraphrase of the original idea, according to my source. Truth is realized by those whom it chooses. Truth is realized by those whom it chooses. Does that mean that some of us aren't chosen to know the truth? Again, this is not my background. This is a new idea for me. If it's yours and you know more about this concept, please do leave us a comment and explain how the truth chooses one person and not another. I also do take quotes from the Quran to try and ponder what's happening, what those beliefs are. And it says, do not pursue that of which you have no knowledge. Again, I don't get it. Don't try and figure out things that you don't already know? Is that what it could possibly be saying? Please leave us a comment if you know more. Right now, I'm just trying to open my mind with this card of the day leading me to new thoughts. However, this one I like a lot. Maimonides, who was a Jewish rabbi, at least I think so. I added that in without getting a chance to double check it. Accept the truth from whatever source it comes. I shared this quote just the other day. So that's, why I would go ahead and include some potential truths that I don't necessarily fully understand. I am trying to accept the truth from whatever source it comes. So, just thinking it out, letting those thoughts enter my mind and ponder what someone else thinks. Thomas Aquinas, great thinker, says, truth is the correspondence between mind and reality. And that's how I feel about moments when tarot cards speak to me. That it's something that I already knew in my mind, but the thing arrives to be the proof. It is the correspondence between my mind and reality. It's the confirmation. And last quote for today, Jiddu Krishnamurti. Was not familiar with him. I did do a quick Google on him, and he was a spiritual leader who wanted to encourage everyone to follow their own path and seek truth from all different sources. It would be the best I could summarize what I learned in a quick little search. But I really did like this quote, so I had to look him up. He says, truth is a pathless land. As in, no one really knows the way there. Or not necessarily no one knows the way there, but it's not laid out like in a clean line for us that we can just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're there. It's an exploration. It's an unknown land that we are going to go ahead and dive into. And on that note, let's go ahead and get a card of the day for today. And we'll talk about this one tomorrow. Awesome deck. What news, what advice do you have for us today? What do we need to watch out for? What card might someone be finding in the world right now and wondering what it means? I almost dropped a card, literally, as I was saying, what card? Awesome deck. Show us what we need to know right now. Rome was not built in a day, y'all. 6 of diamonds. Support and prosperity. We'll talk about this one tomorrow. Hope to see you soon with some thoughts. Uh, please do press like and subscribe. I'm not finding a lovely way to segue into the fact that I realize I forgot to mention that I do actually send these cards out into the world randomly. So I am trying to contribute to people finding cards randomly and collecting research with it uh, in survey form. I'm going to cover up this. So when I send cards out, they have these little notes on them, the little scan QR code. And yeah, I leave the card sitting out, sometimes at thrift stores to be found, and sometimes I actually just randomly pick addresses now through Google Maps and then mail it to the current resident and see what happens. So that is what you're supporting here, and that is what I'm trying to help people figure out is, and I know that there's people out there who find playing cards everywhere, and some of them journal about it because they wonder if it means something. Some of them just save them and think about it. Some of them just take a picture and leave it there because it's too grody to touch. But yeah, I want to learn more about those stories and see what they might be able to teach us about how much meaning there is in the cards. So if you know anyone who has a story like that, who has found a playing card and wants help figuring out if that event means something, this is the place. Send them here. Let's talk as often as possible about what the playing cards mean and help spread the word that I'm here to help you figure out if it actually meant something for you. And yeah, that's all the blabbing that I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed that. When we get more people here, it'll probably sound like less blabbing. Oh my goodness. Because I will have you lovely folks asking questions and telling stories, so I have more things to interact with. In the meantime, well, gonna have to deal with my fun collage painting and blabbering being the main source of fun on this channel. I mean, maybe you just want someone blah 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 blahing in your background on your way to work. And if that's you, well, then you came to the right place. And on that note, I'm going to sign out for today, and I will see you tomorrow at 7:07 a.m. for some more art and tarot with playing cards, blabber, and question and answer, and fun time. So, thank you so much for watching, and have an awesome day.